Away we go.
Last time on the campaign, we found ourselves in the bowels of Candlekeep, moving upwards, trying to find our way out. Tristan and Mort were a few steps behind us, but they too were doing the same. We ultimately wind up upstairs. Yep, we wind up upstairs where we wind up being confronted by some guards. As we open that door, a couple of people in important robes, important looking robes, pulled two of us away, and they went to investigate something regarding a green dragon. The rest of us stayed and kind of bullshitted our way into talking as a group to the head librarian, where we exchanged information that confirmed that the prophecies that we've heard and that they've heard kind of coincide. We passed along a book about the history of other planes as admission fees. We wind up going to a meal with some shenanigans. We settle in, and the show ends with a conversation with Tristan's god, and there we are.
Right. And Fear, if there's anything you'd like to add about your little side trip?
Oh, so Fear and Thorn were called away after the arrival of the Green Dragon, which had been an uneasy neighbor of Candlekeep for the past, it seems like it must have been at least a century at this point. And so the arrival of that dragon led to some consternation, and Thorn, having a unspecified speciality in dragons, and Fear looking like a dwarf of knowledge, they were immediately called away to the task force to try to come up with what the heck was going on with this dragon. So they spent most of last session researching said green dragon and listening to the people of Candlekeep's concerns with it showing up and learning a little bit of why it might have done so. Not that we know.
What's that?
Nothing.
Okay. What would you like to do?
Was anything reached on that whole Green Dragon thing as Thorn gets pulled away to go to a different Green Dragon meeting?
I don't know. What did you find out?
It's a friendly beast that likes to give groups of adventurers rides and fight the Netherese.
That's exactly accurate.
Awesome.
You should run out after it right now.
Well, I think Fear will clearly come to the group and say that, if that is exactly accurate.
If that's what you would like to have found, then that is exactly what you found. Of course, the accuracy of what you found may come into question.
Okay, that's what I mean.
Okay. All right. So, Fear, you're taken to the. They actually have a little inn that is outside of the keep proper. They take you and say the rest of your group is staying at the inn. Accommodations and food are on us. So feel free to make yourself comfortable, and we'll come get you out in a little bit when we're ready. When we're ready for you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Fear toddles off to the inn and finds the rest of the party together, drinking.
I think you find all the party except Tristan.
Makes sense.
Actually, you may walk past Tristan. It's on the way, probably, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I mean, he's still sitting outside on said bench or whatever. He's outside the inn, and he looks as if he's in deep thought or distraught or something like that. Hey, buddy. Where'd you go?
Oh, well, when the dragon showed up, they called us away.
Yes, dragon. Ugh. Do you know anything about that?
Well, I've recently come into information that it's probably a very friendly dragon and might be interested in helping us in our quest against otherworldly forces.
Oh, really?
Super
I
convenient.
can. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I'll be in a couple minutes. I gotta Actually, I'll follow you in. I think everybody should see this. I think this might be the moment of truth with my little buddy.
But you're following him in? Okay. So you're all together.
Yeah, yeah. I follow him inside. I think that the whole group should see this.
All right.
So she because I play so many girls. Sorry. He looks to the group and says, I talked with my patron. They're on our side, so that's not bad. But we're gonna have to do this on our own. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I know that throughout the time I've been not the most faithful companion to you, and I'm very sorry for that. But I've decided, along with Talisid, that I will endure here with you, and I will help you no matter the cost. But I'm going to be very honest with you guys again. Once this is finished, and if we win, I get to stay. I don't have to come back again. And here comes and a single tear comes down Tristan's face. I'm gonna bring Onyx here, and we're gonna have a conversation. I'd love for you guys to see this, and it will be if he's gonna stay or not. I don't have a lot of confidence in this, guys.
Can I ask, what kind of bar are we in here? What kind of pub are we in here?
Not sure.
And
You tell me. You tell me, Carl.
Shop bar.
Oh gosh, so Candlekeep, so it's adjacent to essentially a university, so it would look a little stuffy in here if that follows. There, the
Yep.
guys that are hanging out would be the guys with pipes and tweed jackets and all that stuff. Yet it's a little frolicky, but so it's not super clean. I'm putting off my point. I'm guessing that myself and Mort are sitting at a table together because that would be all that's left at this point, right?
Yes.
Plus, Thorn's here with us.
No, Thorn is still with the folks in the keep.
The dragon response team.
Yep.
All right, so just a quick 1, 2, 3. This one is going to sit at the table and stare at Mort and start speaking to him in Halfling. Is that right?
Yep.
In Halfling, and just be friendlier than he's ever been. Not for any purpose. He's just kind of chatting. Same shtick about asking for dirty water, not clean water, but doesn't want anything, alcoholic. But yeah, engages with Mort thusly. Is there anything Mort's going to try and get out of that? Question he wants to ask, anything like that?
I'm trying to think.
Meh.
I mean, nothing specific. Where you're from? What's your tragic backstory?
Swamp? None. There you go.
You mean to tell me you're an adventurer and you don't have a tragic back? You have both your parents?
Blinks
Sure.
at you several times. and kind of leans in. And because we're talking the same language, it makes a lot more sense than it might otherwise. But basically, it's like, dude, I'm a lizard, man. I mean, we're kind of laid in eggs and then kind of grow up and we're all around. I have parents. Yeah, I know who that is. That's a you thing, not a me thing.
So nothing traumatic. I mean,
I was shanghaied, wound up where you found me, and here I am.
and now you're out for revenge.
There's a lot of blinking and staring and eye licking.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around this. I'll slowly
This one sticks his tongue out a very long way, as if to see if he could, as just a contemplation, to see if he could wrap it around your head.
No.
Oh, he didn't do it. It was
Yeah.
just more like, how far can I stick this out type of thing. It's kind of
Right, and I'm just
looking
gonna
at you and back and forth.
No. I'm not trying to wrap this around my head. I'm trying to wrap my head around this. It's totally different. You got it backwards.
How's your swamp water?
My ale is fine.
Mm.
How's yours?
Gritty.
Is that good? Is it supposed to be gritty?
Oh, look. It's our strange friend that keeps abandoning us.
Oh, the one that tried to sell us out? You might not have been there for that. It's a fun story for later.
Which time? That was my handing the torch off there.
So info dump of what I already said.
Yeah.
And,
It follows all that. Sorry.
Yeah. It's all good. And then he looks at the three of you. I'm sure there's a lot of blinking and eye licking.
Meh.
Do the other guys have anything to say?
I'll relate the great news about the Green
Wanna go?
Dragon that's going to totally win this campaign for us.
That does
Yeah, I
sound
thought
pretty sweet.
Ah,
Yeah, you know what I mean. If it works,
that pans out.
anything ever went our way.
I haven't heard of a lot of dragons like that though. Where did you read it? Did you check the sources?
Oh yeah, no, it was footnoted, heavily annotated.
Sure, it wasn't fake news.
No, it
It
wasn't.
didn't
fake
come from
news.
the Onion.
No, it was in a book.
The Onion was in a book.
No. The Onion was on a table. That was my lunch. The book, not written by fake news. But yeah, it was. I checked my sources, cross-referenced. It seems to be legit. It's weird that the
Then why-
dragon is here now, but
Then
Right,
why are
what-
they so afraid of him?
that all wasn't very clear. It almost passed as if in the blink of an eye. But the firm takeaway from all of these meetings is maybe the dragon is here to help us deal with this world-ending invasion, two-part, from various different sources. And if that's the case, I don't think we should be the ones to look the gift dragon in the mouth, except for to say thank you. And don't eat us.
So we should go now then, right? I mean, what are we waiting for?
I think that our friend here, and friend is loosely used, knowing his backstory and his current relation to half of us, at least, has something he really wants to do. And perhaps if we could all just lick our eyes in peace for a minute, have a drink, he'll get through that, and then we'll go meet the dragon and save the world.
During this whole thing, can I, get some insight on who's telling what truths and who's telling a bunch of bullshit?
Sure. I'll give you two choices. You can either roll for each of the two speakers, or you can just I'll allow you to choose what you believe to be true and what you don't. Your call.
Fair enough. And as Fear is sprouting off about how the dragon's going to help, this one is definitely eye-licking and staring at you. And at the end of your piece says, "This one thinks you're full of crap." So he says something like,
hang on this one.
"Crab parts," and
Hang
then he's holding on.
Hang on. Wait.
Yep.
Now, just to be clear, Fear.
Yep.
You are saying what you believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I am 100% in belief that this is great, and I've got sources that I saw.
Okay. I just want to make sure you knew that he was telling what he thought was the truth.
Oh no.
And, okay.
I know, Nathan. I knew that for a fact. This one is going to go on about how, he's kind of a lizard and he's seen maybe a dragon and he's kind of heard of him. And a lizard in that condition, it's not going to be super helpful for your needs. It's going to look out how it can, get more gold and all that stuff.
Wait, what condition?
Dragon.
Such a condition of lizard.
Come on, if you were that size of thing, wouldn't you just be interested in your own little self? Well,
I think it'd be very magnanimous.
Huh?
I think I'd be very magnanimous if I was a creature of that size.
There's some just slow nodding and eye licking after you said that. And then he's going to actually turn to Tristan and say your piece, would-be traitor.
I understand I don't have a great track record of wanting to help, but I promise to you, as I said, I will not be leaving you until this is over.
Feed me something undead, crumble, grumble.
Murmur.
Right. He just shakes his head at that and goes, "All right, well let's just do this." And he thinks real hard and does the ritual which you would to summon Onyx, and I'm assuming he shows up.
Fear, roll me a perception check.
All right, percept. Nothing.
Okay. Yep, he shows up.
Okay.
He looks
Hey,
surprised.
hey, little buddy. It's good to see you.
He just looks at you, listening.
So I understand that we had a deal, and it didn't work out the way I may have planned for the rest of our lives, but I would very much like to hold up my end. And he looks at him very longingly.
And how do you intend to do that?
With my eyes.
I'm sorry?
I said with my eyes.
That was Onyx's response. How do you intend?
No. I want you to take it, man. Do what you. I mean, me and you had a bit of a conversation, so you do what you want to do is them. I have no problem with that.
And what will you do?
Do you mean is I will I'm going to stay here. I'm going to
You're going to subject someone else to what you put me through?
for a long time, Onyx, it was very much we were on the same page. You can't say that I subjected you to something, really. We had many great adventures together.
Have you been with yourself the last few weeks?
Yes, Onyx, and I understand that. I wish I was. I wish the nature of the work that we do was going to be as an easy thing. But you knew that. You knew that, and you were very excited to want to try to change the world in the beginning.
I was excited to have a partner and a companion, not someone that sent me miles away by myself into likely hazardous situations, only to bring me back to do it again. I wasn't excited for that.
I can imagine, and that would be the reason why I'm going to keep up my end of my bargain. If you'd like to go home, you can.
You didn't answer my question.
I would definitely be. I'll be conjuring another familiar, correct? But it won't be you, if that's what you choose.
So my choice is to save myself by placing someone else in.
I'm not going to get another person. I've got an idea. Well, I don't even know what I will do. I can summon other creatures.
What's your alignment? What would it be? What's the?
His alignment is. Give me 1 second.
The cardinal.
He's neutral good. Yeah, neutral good.
Onyx kind of turns and looks at the rest of you, almost pleading for input.
Fear's got a single tear as if he's watching The Notebook for the first time while dealing with this touching thing that's going on here. But
Yeah, Mort will just kind of. I don't know what to tell you. This is out of my league. I'm sorry.
This one in Halfling would be repeatedly kind of very lightly poking at Mort and asking questions about why we're oh no, that's really mean. What? I can't make that make sense. Keeps asking him why we're watching a high school breakup.
Someone seems to have tuned it to the CW. I don't know.
And every question makes it more and more obvious that this one has no clue how most bipeds relate to each other.
All right. Onyx looks back and says, "We'll do it then."
Not for me to do, it's for you to do. You can go back. I have no hold over you any longer.
Very well. Poof. Gone.
Wow, that's what I was saying goodbye. Well, all right, yeah, and Onyx looks distraught. I mean, sorry. Tristan looks distraught that his friend did not say goodbye to him more than anything. And just kind of sits there for a moment, kind of dumbfounded. Looks at the group and says, "I'm gonna go to my room. We were said in the morning that we're going to do some more research. I'll be there for that. Thank you for being my friends." And he gets up, and he very solemnly kind of hangs his head a little bit. And certainly looks sad and makes his way to his room. Has has a conversation that's not important with Talcid about that, he chose to go back, and that he'll be, doing some research on what he may want to summon next. That's it.
Okay. So Tristan returns to his room. What the rest of you do?
So how far away was this dragon?
I was within sight of the keep. So
Lives
sorry,
within sight.
I was asking here, who's
Right.
done all the research.
sorry.
This magical dragon will save us. How far away was it?
It lives within sight of the keep. What I think I heard. Yeah, so like a day, we should be able to get out there and get back and have a dragon.
So we're doing that tomorrow then, right?
That seems like the best plan. I mean, what other research do we need to do?
I feel like we've got it. I mean, dragons know a bunch of stuff, right? So that's probably better research.
Right.
And maybe that's why he was buzzing the tower. He's jealous of all the knowledge here, and he wants to be like the main source of knowledge. I don't know. Dragons are weird. I've heard.
Dragons are weird. Well, I mean, it's when you live for centuries and millennia or whatever. There's just not a lot to do. So maybe he got bored with sleeping in his swamp and decided to come say, "Hey, I hear there are demons. I can help with demons. Nobody ever thinks to ask me, and it's starting to hurt my feelings." That's how I'd interpret the flyby.
That's an amazing dragon accent you've got.
Yeah.
It's like I haven't heard a lot of dragons, but I'm pretty sure it's spot on.
I've heard one or two dragons, and they all sound like that. And I'm not one for stereotypes, but they all sound the same.
Interrupting this display of displays is this one, who just starts cranking out in Draconic a bunch of swear words about what idiots you sound like, talking about dragons as if you knew anything about them. And you have a circlet of understanding, I think, so you understand perfectly.
So this one, what do you know about dragons?
He holds up his taloned hand, looks at it for a minute, and flicks one talon up and says, "Lizards." Flicks another one up and says, "Really big." Flicks up another one and says, "Don't give a shit."
Sounds like you're saying nothing, and that you know less than nothing when you're calling them lizards.
Dragons, finger, lizards.
Dragons finger lizards.
Is that where you came from?
I assume there were some men involved with lizard men, but
Blinking in confusion. Blinking in confusion.
another round of swamp water.
Join me in it.
Like in it, or in drinking it?
Yes.
I'd rather sit in it than drink it, I think. Although, even that.
Oh, you don't know if you haven't tried it, Mort. Barkeep, 3 glasses of the dirty water.
Coming right up.
We'll drink some dirty water.
I think dragon is not going to be very helpful.
Well, at this point, we've got good solid sources that say it will be. And until those sources are proved wrong, it would be foolhardy to turn aside the help of such a powerful being.
Would that one, and he points at you, like to show this one such proof?
So I will then pull out a research journal notebook thing, which, as a solid wizard, I do everything in notes, and I will point out the references, the pages of notes from whatever sources I was investigating that led me to this conclusion, and share them with you.
And this is in your hand, is that correct?
My handwriting, yes.
Not sure that I would, yeah. You show me. He's going to ask you, "Did you write this?" And then he's going to go on and say, "That one shows things he's written. I can scribble in mud,
Right, but
make earthquakes happen,
can you read?
and then earthquakes happen, and who knows what I scribbled in mud."
It's a strange metaphor, but I think I know what you're saying. Do you know how to read?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you see that it's not just my writing here. It's actually references to somebody else's writing. And what I'm saying...
In your writing.
Correct. So, if you're having major problems, perhaps in the morning we could go back up to the library, or even tonight, because I've got no idea what time it is.
Nothing to do myself. Let's go.
Indeed. And we can check these sources. And I'll be happy to be proved wrong, as any good academic is. But if I'm right...
This one wants to be proved wrong.
Well, I think I agree. If the dragon's on our side, it'll be wonderful. But it's always good to have somebody check your sources. That's
When you say that would be wonderful, there's kind of a flipping of his hand that's still outstretched, and you see a thumb go up, and you hear a little ting. As if one talon tinged on the next.
Oh, I thought you caught it on a piece of glass or something.
yeah. I wasn't sure what happened there. Don't have talents.
There it is.
So I guess we're gonna spend the. Is it super late? Is it?
It's morning, as I recall.
Oh, I did not recall that. Sure. So we're gonna go do a quick peer review on
We're going to go
Fear's,
spend the morning together,
Fear's research.
giggling over
Alright.
school books.
Indeed, writing notes.
How about you, Mort?
Yeah, this looks interesting. I'm gonna go. Since we're not going to go talk to the dragon, it seems like the best idea. I guess I'll go and chat with one of the librarians while these two are off canoodling in the stacks or whatever it is they're going to go do. I assume that's what they're going to go do.
I mean, canoodling's a good word for research. Research is a good word for canoodling.
Fair enough.
Okay. So you go back to the heat proper, the library part. You're met at the door. Hello. How can we help you?
Fear Logroom, Green Dragon Task Force. My friend here has some ideas and wanted to go back over the sources that I was in yesterday with for the Green Dragon Task Force. Fear Logroom. I'm on the list.
I'll check that. I'll have that checked right away. Please make yourself comfortable. He points to some benches over there.
All right.
So a few minutes later, somebody comes back and says, kind of talks. He says, "Okay, this man will take you back where you need to go." So they lead you back to the general area you were in before.
Okay.
I'll be over here if you need anything.
So with that, Fear would like to pull back up the things that led him to believe the Green Dragon was super against demons and super friendly, and share them with this one.
Go ahead, do so.
And he does so.
All right, so this is the same evening.
It's the morning, apparently. It was morning.
Good morning.
Okay, cool. So I didn't know it was morning. I mean, obviously he doesn't go in.
It was really cloudy.
Yeah, it's weird. So he doesn't go to sleep. He just goes and sulks for a little bit, and then he joins them as well into the library.
Okay.
This one, while he's being led around on these books, is going to be looking to see if the Green Dragon has a lineage of names.
Absolutely. Let me take you through that. Assuming Ken doesn't jump in.
Go ahead.
All right. All right. So Ken is the current green dragon. It's actually Ken apostrophe unpronounceable apostrophe unpronounceable. And it's not just that the letters are unpronounceable, it's legitimately unpronounceable. But Ken is the name of the dragon. And Ken, if you go back about 1,000 years, was sired by Leslie, unpronounceable, and Drax. Drax is his full name. On Leslie's side,
Was it Leslie apostrophe unpronounceable?
correct. Yeah, there's always an apostrophe before the unpronounceable. That's just basic Draconic.
Well, I don't speak Draconic.
Right. Well, Fear will explain it to you if you're there. But if you're chatting up librarians, you're not getting that explanation.
Every time you say unpronounceable, I look at the page and out in Dragonborn. Dragonborn, sorry,
And you're
Draconic.
really close, but you're not quite there. That's the magic of dragon names.
And he's going to blame the phonetic writing.
That's probably it, too. So anyway, on Leslie's side, you go back a generation, and you have Jima and Grist. We can keep going back further on that side, or we can switch back to the father's lineage. Drax, that is. Your choice. Good to know. Good to know that lizards don't know. And I think this is another basic difference between lizards and dragons. You see, they're tracing their lineage. I couldn't help you and Mort over here that you don't really know who your mother and father were. Sad state for a lizard man.
Multiple eggs, not like dragon.
Right. It's a different species. And you got to account for that. Just because you're both scaly little bits, it doesn't mean you're both lizards. All right. Do you really want to go through continuing dragon name generator?
No, this
Yeah.
one wants to
I
actually
wanna know who-
contest your claim that they're not lizards, but I'm not sure how far we need to push all this.
I mean, just for like complete notes, I'd like to know who begat Drax.
The begetter of Drax.
Yes, begetties. I assume it's plural.
The paterfamilias.
The begetties of Drax.
Please.
So there was Old Methuselah, which isn't a dragon name, and it's actually kind of interesting. And best bet you can tell that Drax might be partially humanoid. But anyway, Old Methuselah and Schmag.
Wow, I really phoned it in there at the end, didn't you?
Sure did. Sure did.
Start to wonder.
So based on the history, Drax may not be fully human.
Right. Which means, of course, that Ken might not be fully dragon either. But it seems that he's mostly possessed of draconic power and shape. So, who knows?
Drax? I assume Drax knows.
Drax
You-
might knows, but we don't know Drax. All we really know is Ken, and then the lineage of Ken.
Fair enough.
At some point, this one will get a little annoyed/bored with his elf friend, and will mutter, "I need to go to wallow for a while," and he's going to go find us some muddy spot he can wallow in.
Just as you get to that point, some monks come in and say, I heard you were here. They're ready for you.
Is this the large group, or is this just to this one?
That was a general group.
Hi, you in the plural. All of us. We need
Yeah.
to go with these monks.
Oh, I mean, you don't have to, but if you'd like access to the tomes you would ask about that are now ready.
More research. And let's go access some tomes.
Da 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 da. Go to tome. Da 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 tome.
Researching. Okay. So everybody roll initiative, please.
Oh man, a tome fight.
Oh man, no dice.
14 for fear. Somebody rolled an eagle.
Oh dear. Nathan.
Well, it's just the two of them, right? Because we're not there. Am I there?
I
You're
think
all-
everybody's here.
Nathan, would you roll initiative
I'm
for
sorry.
me?
Sure. You rolled a 12.
12 plus 2 is
Yeah.
14. Thank you.
Oh man, I rolled us the same initiative. We're
Nice.
best friends.
Besties. Well, we already held hands and frolicked through
Through a genealogy.
that and a gate
Oh
travel
right, we
thing.
did that too.
Yeah. We're frolickers. What can we say?
Two 14s. What are the other two?
11 for Mort.
Give me just a second. I'm also not prepared for dice, but they're right here.
Oh, that's not bad. I think that's just a flat 16, no? I don't think he gets a bonus to that. 16.
All right. So more.
Yep.
What was it you wanted to read about?
The Netherese bargain.
All right. All about the Netherese bargain. This one, and I'm gonna assume I know the answer to this. So this one.
Wants to
What?
wants some kind of information on how lizard folk and human types have interacted in the past.
Fear.
Planar travel, and particularly the anything that can be found on that whole army. Not the Obcats, but the other group.
Which other group?
The ones with the silly armor that were. There was the Shadowy Island, and
So you show them your armor and say,
yep. Tell me more. Tell me more. Did they put up a fight?
I suspect they did. All right, and that leaves what? More? Is that right?
No.
No, that would leave the
Just
me.
The me.
And Tristan is very interested in looking and researching creatures that are summonable.
gotcha.
And so on and so forth. He's looking at something that's what he's doing. That's fine.
What?
I said, he's looking for, into Warlock Tome, so on and so forth, and looking for creatures that he'll be able to use with his Pack of the Chain lineage.
Okay, so anybody want to go first?
Well, if we're going in order, wouldn't that be Mort?
Order when you get your book, but we can talk about it in whatever order.
Well, in celebration of finding my dice, I'll go ahead and roll.
All right.
As I
So give me just a straight up intelligence, unless you have some relevant.
I have a little bit of investigation. Get a little plus for that. It's actually the same as my intelligence, I think. So, yeah. Hey, 15.
right? Your
Don't know
topic
much,
was-
but I learned something.
all right, so I'm gonna let me back it up a minute here.
Hmm.
So this is not like a 5-minute
I get
You know.
that.
template. I'm just make sure everybody understands.
Hmm.
This will probably take 2 or 3 days.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Lots of reading, lots of books and stuff. All right. So you they ask you if you want to start with the newer tones or the older tones.
He will say newer and go backwards.
All right. So there's not a whole lot of human lizard man interaction. Apparently, here along the Sword Coast, there simply aren't a whole lot of lizard man settlements, if any. Aren't really a whole lot that are referred to. But there appears that there are some further east, good ways, across the continent. There was a couple centuries ago, there was a reptile. They use the word cult. What you're reading, it may have just been more of a religion, that was actually spread pretty prominently here in this area, and it has left a bad situation for the relationship that you're investigating. As you drop that out and go further back, there was before a couple centuries ago, there was not really a great relationship at any point, but there was a more acceptable. There was tolerance, shall we say, not necessarily a lot of alliance and peace. But there was they got along, pretty much stayed to themselves, and did a little bit of trade. And then the last tome that they bring you is quite old, and it's written in common. It's kind of like, think of it as Old English. You can make out most of it with a lot of effort. It talks about a place called Sestergore. And according to this book, it claims that the Sestergorian Empire millennia ago ruled the entirety of this continent.
Would that be a lizard man empire?
That is correct.
Did you say the entirety of this continent?
That is correct. Yes, that is the claim. Roll for me an investigation.
Don't roll for me.
Sure. 11.
This part doesn't make any sense. But as best you can tell, what it says is that the Sestergorians invented elves.
Cestagorians were orange with tiny hands.
Okay.
And then they were overthrown after a couple of millennia. They were overthrown by their creation.
Does it say anything in that very, very old tome about from which perspective or who it is or whose faction or whatever it is? I mean, obviously it's a winner, but who's writing this?
It's clearly, well, from what you can tell, it probably is neither an elf nor one of the Cestagorians. It seems to be from a third party, as best you can tell, because they're referred to as they and, you know, the elves and the Cestagorians. So it looks, again, it looks to be a third party creation.
Okay.
Right?
Well, if I could have one more, it's like Herodotus would have written histories about things that he might have heard or read about that happened 400 to 500 to 900 years ago. Is it something like that?
That seemed to be, yes.
Like this could be Beowulf, but written down after it's been told in legend for a long time, and then
Legend or mythology, that is that.
okay, great.
All right. And you can, if you think of something else, we'll come back and have a second
You got it.
meeting round as well. Corey, yours should be fairly easy, right?
Yeah. He he's aware of some of the things that warlocks can summon with a spell. He's very aware of like imps and pseudo dragons and sprites and such. That doesn't very much interest him. He's looking for something more maybe companion-like. And I'm assuming that they give him a list of all creatures per se. And he.
Hang on. That's a little different than what you actually get. Let's hold off on that assumption for a second. First thing, let's roll an investigation.
Okay. I can do that. Rather history, but that's all right. Investigation it is. Oh, that's nice. Natural 19 plus something. Probably 3 or 4 or something like that. I mean, let me see. It is plus.
That's fine.
2. Yeah.
Best roll of the night.
Yeah, 21.
All right. Over the course of the days that you're doing this research, it's not. They don't actually have what exactly you were looking for. Instead, some might think they have something slightly more interesting. So, what you are brought are some tomes that actually talk about the origins of warlock pacts.
Okay.
And they seem to hint that these pacts can be modified, which is very much not the way that things are presented.
Seem to be. Yeah.
And kind of even customized to some point. So while they don't bring you a list per se of warlocks can summon this, I mean, they certainly could get you that if you wanted it, but that's pretty mundane thing. But it seemed to imply that you could ally with most anything that you wish to ally with, as long as you have the ability to deal with it, the ability to handle it. So
Yeah.
you'd have to be an extremely mighty warlock to hook up with a dragon. But so far,
I hear green dragon. That's what I heard.
exactly.
What do you mean hook up with?
To make
Old
it your
Methuselah.
companion, make it your familiar. Obviously, it sounds that Drax has already figured out that you can hook up with them.
Right, but I haven't read that.
Side note, if Al Green sang Let's Get It On in Draconic.
Right. So then from there, he starts doing some research on specific animals, so on and so forth, and within the library, he keeps seeing this animal that is walking around. It looks like a cat, but it looks like a cat that it always is climbing on top of the shelves. At the highest point, it always is very much following the people around and watching them. A couple times he
Roll me a perception.
Okay.
I'm on. Not terrible. 9 plus 6, so 15.
As you're watching it, you notice an interesting pattern about it. It seems to spend a disordinate amount of time watching more.
Does it?
Dun, dun,
Interesting.
dun.
Hey, Mordecai,
Yes,
see that cat up there?
I think so. Yeah. What about it?
Seems to be very interested in you.
I'm a very interesting person.
Yeah. What are you researching?
The Netherese bargain.
Oh, much more helpful than what I am. Sorry, I'm being a bit selfish. I've been looking up things of pact that I make with an animal and such, and man, I found out that I actually, with enough wherewithal, you could almost summon whatever. I don't know. It's kind of strange. But yeah. I'm gonna keep an eye on him or her or it. It's kind of strange. And in the coming days, as we're doing research, he will succumb to doing research on our problem at hand now. Now that he has the information that he has.
I mean, it took you a few days to get through this too. I mean,
Okay. Yeah. But maybe there's a day left or something, and then he goes ahead and helps with whatever needs to be looked up.
he has
Okay.
All right. So the other thing you find is that while you can bond with the creature, it might take you a short while to kind of, you're going to have to customize the regular bonding spell or ritual or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which makes sense. You know what I mean? Because if you're bonding to something that is not of the normal things that warlocks would bond to, that would take some time to do so.
Yeah.
So it's on the last day in which he's looking at this, that cat does something a bit strange. I'm assuming the ceilings are very high in here. Whatever, I kind of see domed.
Yep.
And it was sitting on top of the cabinet, in which the very tall, watching Mort as he has been for the last 2 days. And then something catches his attention, kind of up near the top of the dome, and it looks for a second. It kind of arches up like a cat does, like it's being ready to pounce. And he flies up to where whatever it has caught its attention, which makes Tristan want to know what this is even more. Takes that a little bit more time to do a research, and he finds out that this creature is called a tressum, and that overall they seem to be something that could be summoned, but you would have to find one, which he has. And be able to spend time with it and have it want to. You wouldn't be taking the actual creature. You'd be able to summon one that looks similar to it. He goes around and asks some of the library people, and they tell him that this has been here for as long as they can remember, and that it's just kind of the guardian of the library.
Okay, cool.
That is what Tristan is interested in trying to figure out, and it becomes his goal to be around this creature long enough so that he can try to summon one himself.
Okay, dope. Let's see. So, Mort or Fear?
Let's do Mort first, because he's on my notes as first.
Ooh.
Right. I'm coming back as Dick Dancer.
Richard. I prefer Richard.
He doesn't.
Nah.
If that's back at us. Anyways, so yes. Research. Netherese bargain.
Okay. So there's not obviously a tome on the Netherese, specifically on the Netherese bargain,
Sure.
but there are a number of things on the Netherese people, culture, nation. And by wading through some of that, you can find some of the answers you're looking for.
Okay.
The Netherese unlocked a form of magic that is significantly more powerful than what is being used currently. Now, the drawback, of course, is that it came with much more of a cost. So now you basically, to use magic, you open up and you've got a reserve of magical energy that you know how to control. You open up that reserve and release the energy in order to cast a spell. For the Netherese, they actually could link their magic directly to life force. So by the willingness to pay enough life, they could do significantly more impressive things than could be done nowadays. Well, not necessarily more impressive. They could do it more easily. Put that in a different way. So at a lower using level for example purposes. So whereas you'd have to be 17th, 18th level to cast a 9th level spell in the modern system, they could do it maybe at 12th or 13th level.
Okay. Did it have to be their own life force?
No, it did not.
Nice.
Okay, at this point, okay, that you could get from reading easily. Now give me your investigation.
19 plus a ton.
Okay, that's good.
Plus 7, 26.
All right. So, having rolled so well, basically what you determine is the Netherese basically used the life force of at least hundreds of people, if not thousands, to power up the arcane part of the deal that they made with the shadow creatures. So they, as best you can tell, give me a. I know you probably don't have it as proficiency, but maybe give me a knowledge arcane roll.
Okay. Oh, not as good. That's a 2 plus 1 for 3.
Yeah. Somehow they they used the spell to pay the shadow creatures, and you can't quite figure out exactly what the payment was exactly, but it definitely required, like I said, life force of at least hundreds of people. And based on what you're reading, you know, they were probably not volunteers. But you pick up some more things just while reading that aren't directly related necessarily, but the Netherese actually, to give you an idea of what they did with their power, they actually had flying cities that they would move around. They had, I think Mort was there. You may have seen him if you weren't there. They could write scrolls that would basically act as a focus for any spell that they wanted to cast.
Yeah.
In exchange for the life force cost was higher than it normally was, but it gave them extreme flexibility in in their casting. So these were written on pitch black, what appeared to be parchment, but you rolled a 26 on your investigate.
Yep.
You're pretty much convinced that it actually was very likely the flesh of the shadow creatures.
Very cool.
And then it was written with silvery ink. What else would you like to know?
How long ago was that bargain again? Or that spell that
Yep. They did it. Actually, they did it a couple of times, and it was every 1,000 years.
Okay. And then as far as the people that were sacrificed, is there a requirement, from what I can tell, and with a low arcana roll,
Right.
easily might not be able to, like, did they have to be in the control of the person making the spell? Could it just be anyone, like, within sight? Like, can I go?
Give me another arcane roll.
All right. 7 plus 1 for 8.
Okay. Really, you're unable to tell, but you're pretty sure that there had to be some sort of. They couldn't just do it from any random person nearby. There had to be some sort of controlling mechanism, or somehow either the person had to willingly give it, or they had to have some way to
Coercive.
Yeah, exactly.
They couldn't just like sacrifice all of the demons in hell.
No.
Damn it! It was a good idea.
Exactly.
All right.
Right.
I'll keep note of sort of where I found that, and maybe send a magic user to see if they can parcel out the arcane bits. Maybe
Okay.
while we're going to talk to the dragon.
All right. Here.
All right. Let's learn some stuff.
What were we reading about again?
So I believe it was a planet where the armor that I'm wearing, as well as a Shadowfell-ish demon creature on an island,
Yep.
like a couple planets in front of the Shadow Cat invasion. These people also invading. Curious about that.
Okay. So, give me your investigate.
Sure. So that is a 18.
All right. The world that you are referring to is called Arcanus. The first thing that gets your attention, I mean, there's some interesting reading. The thing that gets your attention is you find the place where your armor comes from
Uh-huh.
is a country called Corian.
Koigon?
Or Corian, Coryan.
Okay.
Obviously, Fear wouldn't know this, but for ease of translation, think Rome.
Okay.
So it has legions that are wearing, in essence, what you have on is a suit of Lorica segmentata.
Okay.
There are some other major countries that you can read about. One of them is called Melandir. It's, I think, Knight era Germany.
Okay.
There's another country. I don't have it from. I forgot the name. I can give it to you if you want it later. Basically, that is very similar to ancient Egypt.
Okay.
Complete with a lot of the rituals involving the dead.
Okay.
Something else you find that is very interesting is the dwarves of this plane have all been cursed. They have, at birth, they are born with what's called a heartstone, and they must spend a certain amount of time each year in the place where they were born, or they die, and their soul is lost. And the only way that this curse may be broken is if one of the dwarves invents the perfect item.
Okay.
Another thing, given that you know what other people are researching, another thing you find of interest is that there are a large number of lizard folk on this particular plane. They seem fully integrated into society. I mean, kind of like halflings or gnomes would be now. You know, they're not 50-50 lizardmen, but they're certainly common enough. They are no real stigma or anything around them.
Okay.
I'm going to assume that you guys are going to, you know, kind of discuss things at night, things of that sort.
Absolutely.
Under no circumstances.
Okay.
I'm kidding. Yes.
The thing that on the third day, the thing that most interesting comes up at night over dinner when you're talking, and this one brings up the name of the empire that he learned about. Sestigor. I'll get you a spelling for that later.
Sestigor?
Yeah. Because that is also referenced in your research. And it, while it's only mentioned in passing, it matches with the more in-depth information that this one provides.
Okay.
I'm going to need you to give me another investigation roll.
All right. 18 again.
All right. The second topic that you're looking at, the fellow on the island is known as the Sorcerer King.
Okay.
And this is where it becomes kind of worrisome to you a little bit. Basically, the Sorcerer King has declared that all arcane spellcasters are his property.
Property? I don't know it.
And he has groups of agents that he sends out across the world called harvesters. And their sole purpose is they discover a arcane caster, either kidnap or destroy that person.
Okay.
Another thing that's kind of interesting about this world is it seems that, you know, like here in the Forgotten Realms, you certainly have some factions, some groups. You know, they're the Harpers that go around doing good deeds, and the Zentirum that go around doing bad deeds, and you know, things of that sort. There are a number of those on this other world too, and the two that probably are of most interest to you are the Hawk and the Shield. And those are basically, both of those are secret, relatively secret organizations that are set up just to thwart the Sorcerer King. The Hawk is the more aggressive order. They kind of take the fight to the Harvesters. The Shield is the more defensive group. They find casters and attempt to protect them and hide them.
All right.
Yeah. Anything else you were specifically looking for that I might have missed?
That's a pretty solid covering.
Right. Now we can, you know what? I'm going to give each of you a new knowledge, and it's going to be related to what you researched.
Okay.
So you can in the future, when information of this sort comes up, you'll be able to make a knowledge
All right.
Arcanus roll or a knowledge Sestergore roll, or depending on who you are with what you research.
Okay.
And we'll use that to determine other things that you learn, and just didn't cover everything in this this little conversation.
Sounds good.
All right. Now, did anybody from earlier think of anything any additional quick questions that I could answer here and now?
Tristan has been observing this cat, even harder now. Has he ascertained anything of why it may be watching Mort so much?
Make me a knowledge warlock stuff roll.
Knowledge warlock stuff? Okay.
I do know what knowledge warlock stuff is, but that's okay. We're gonna figure that out.
Man, that's not a bad roll again. We're gonna say knowledge charisma because that's what my class is based off. How's that?
No, but go ahead. What'd you get?
I rolled a natural 17. So if you want to do Arcana, if you want to do history, if you want to
That's
do
No, it's knowledge. It's knowledge warlock stuff.
okay,
Or better
knowledge
name.
warlock stuff. Love it.
It's from what you learned of this creature in your thing, it can see invisible things.
Yep. And then that's when it clicks to him. He goes, "Oh, hey Mort,
Yep.
can you still do that invisibility thing?"
I can try. I'll kind of walk over to the corner, wait till nobody's looking at me real closely, other than I assume Tristan.
And the cat, because it's following you.
Out of my room?
Well, it's like sitting on top of a stack.
Yeah. It's at the top of the stack, but yeah. You may not even have really noticed it was there, you know what I mean, but Tristan does.
So I thought at this point we were catching up at the bar, like trading notes.
Okay.
Or you can do that now, or you can do it when you guys are in the library, whenever.
Yeah, wherever you want to do it, doesn't matter.
Be fluid on the time, whatever. Yeah.
All right. So while we're still in the library, so the cat's still there, I'll go off behind some stacks, and I'll go invisible or shadowy, whatever.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, he does.
And then Tristan looks at the cat, looks back at where Mort was, because he doesn't see him anymore. Looks back.
Cat's
You
looking.
can come back, buddy. No, wait. Oh, sorry. Before that, what is the cat's reaction to Mort going invisible?
The cat's doesn't seem to have any reaction. Just watching him.
Walk towards me, Mort, because I know he can still hear me.
All right, I do that.
Does the cat track?
Yes.
Interesting. You can come back to material. It was just a test.
And I do.
Don't do this quickly. And I know you're a rogue and are very good at stealth. But look at that stack of books with that big red one on top. You see that tome? The big red tome.
Yeah.
You see that cat sitting up there?
The one you pointed out earlier?
Yeah, the same one. I think he can see you, regardless if you're. From what I know, he's called a Tressum, and he can see you when you're both invisible and not invisible, and he knows that you are invisible. It's a very cool trait. Seems you're very interested in you. Doesn't happen too often, does it?
Well, honestly, this is still pretty new to me.
Yeah. Very strange. So over the next little bit, Tristan starts trying to trying to coax the animal to come down and interact with him.
How are you gonna do that?
I don't know. I guess I could try an animal handling check, but that's not, really. I don't know.
Roll me a knowledge.
He kind of feels as if he's able to interact with it once, that may be enough in order to make it so that he can summon one, but he feels as if he has to physically touch it first.
Roll me a knowledge warlock stuff.
Okay, knowledge warlock stuff again. That's 9 knowledge warlock stuff.
That'll be all right, I think. They like corn cobs.
So the next day, you know what I mean, like, whatever. We, like you said, we've been doing this for days on end. He does bring, at dinner he orders corn. He doesn't really like corn, but he orders it nonetheless. And preserves the cob, and does so. As he's doing his research, some way, and in the middle, he just takes the corn cob out, sets it next to himself on the table, and just hopes. You know what I mean?
All right. What's everyone else doing?
Getting packed to go talk to this dragon.
We're really gonna go do that, Fear. We're gonna go try to talk to a dragon. Any dragon that I've ever come in contact with, within the travels that I've had, has never been pleasant to deal with.
I just want to ask, how many dragons have you actually come in contact with? Be honest.
I've run away from many of them, and I've seen Taliesin talk to a dragon, but I never did. But he's got more respect than any being I've ever seen.
So we're at 0, right?
I've never directly talked to a dragon before, but I've been in the presence in which Taliesin has. He is not like us, Fear.
I mean, that's fair. All I'm saying is I've got solid sources that say we should go talk to this dragon. It's going to be great.
Right. I will follow you, my friend.
This one has seen his solid sources and is still dubious, but is willing to go along with the charade.
The charade, huh? Well, it's, I guess we'll see what happens. Hopefully it's not in, being melted, because if it's a green dragon, it means it's going to spew acid on us, and it would melt us to death. That doesn't sound pleasant.
He just kind of shrugs, keeps packing whatever you pack to go see a dragon.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to do before heading out to Parlay?
I mean, I'll check in on the Green Dragon Task Force to double check and make sure that this isn't foolhardy. Again, peer review, that's a thing. I'd like to be peer reviewed on this conclusion.
So you check in with a task force. What exactly would you like to tell them?
So once again, I'll show them my notes, show them the sources that led me to this conclusion, and looking for contrary opinions or...
Okay, so what do your notes say? Tell me what your notes say.
So my notes, going through a series of sources, say that the green dragon that lives near Candlekeep...
Stop.
All right.
They say, wait. What green dragon that lives near Candlekeep? That's their first question.
The one that flew by yesterday.
You mean the green from the Neverwinter Wood?
Sure.
That's at least a 10-day from here.
Ah. So there's two green. Okay, so is there another green dragon that lives near?
No?
So then, who's Ken? Ken the dragon.
They kind of huddle up amongst themselves. Somebody roll me a 20-sider.
Just roll one.
Yep.
It's a 6.
We don't know anything about any Ken the dragon.
So like showing them the books that we looked at that had the lineage of Ken. Any of that?
Show me this book. Yeah, which book are you looking at?
Show them the book. It's
not there.
more things about dragons.
It's not there.
Okay. Can I talk to a librarian?
Sure.
So I'd like to show her the note that I have that includes the call number. Be like, this book, have you seen it recently?
Call number? We don't have any book by that number or name.
What about yesterday when I got it?
No.
Oh. All right.
No, and she takes you over to the thing and says, here's the books that we brought you. And they don't look familiar at all.
Okay. So then going through my notes about Arcanus, do they have books like that, or are the books totally different there too?
They have those.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just all the dragon books are different.
Yes, correct.
And a quick going to the page numbers that I found my previous research on in these books that I was given yesterday. Is there any pattern that emerges there? Like, that dragon's totally going to kill you?
Looking at these other, the quote-unquote current books?
The books that she said she brought me instead of the books that I thought I had read.
Roll me and investigate with advantage because I'm assuming that your friends are going to help you.
Yeah, this one was intrigued by this whole denial of what he thinks he saw yesterday. So he's there trying to help.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is after the a lot of that debacles happened. He's gotten all the information he needs. And Kristen would also be interested in the very strange situation.
So it's either a natural 20 or a 26.
Nice.
Okay.
Very nice.
Let's see. So, long story short, green dragons are evil.
Okay.
There are no known instances of not evil green dragons.
Okay.
They can be dealt with if you've got a mutual,
Right.
benefit. They can be bribed. It was sufficient.
Does it exist in this world, or is this one of the worlds where it was destroyed?
What's that?
Does Neverwinter exist on this one, or is this the one where the demons destroyed it?
Neverwinter exists. This is the original world that you guys started on. So there's the demon did invade, and there is the scar is there.
Okay. Well, apparently all this dragon nonsense was dead end. Who knows?
So we're not going to go talk to the green dragon.
I mean, we could. Probably won't kill us still. It does make sense.
Probably not 9 would be good.
Right.
I mean, pros and cons.
I feel at some point we've established enough case that all of the planes are being destroyed, that we might be able to approach some of the more powerful denizens of at least one or two of them and get their help in stopping whatever it is we're trying to do. Not that I'm entirely sure what we're trying to do. Seems like we could murder a bunch of people and get another 1,000 years, but that doesn't sound particularly like something I want to do.
Yeah, I can't say I'm on that page either.
This one
Yeah,
says,
no.
what if we murder the dragon?
It's so quiet you can hear that pen drop. No, that's a silly idea.
Why? Great life for great life.
Have you been in any fights with us since you've been around?
No, I don't think I don't think so.
All right.
We
Well,
haven't had one since he's been here.
we're not particularly the most martial of groups. Not saying we can't handle ourselves, but I don't think we could handle a green dragon. Now, perhaps by wiles, but we'd need those too.
Well, it's a bit concerning that you've done research on a topic in which you say that you have found that you've written notes on and you read a tome, but now they say that tome doesn't exist.
No, it's quite upsetting.
I don't think you're lying to us, sir.
Yeah,
I just don't know.
this one you definitely did see said tone.
Yeah. No, I'm backing him up.
I, what did you do with the tome after you were finished?
Put it back on the book cart like you're supposed to. I assume they took it back into the stacks.
At this point, Tristan, you hear something. Sounds kind of like this. Off to your right.
He rolls perception to see what it was.
Yeah, you can just look if you want.
Okay, yeah. He goes ahead and glances towards it, off to the right.
Your lunch leftovers have been knocked on the floor and are being followed on.
Just a second. And Tristan very gently and very slowly makes his way over to where the Tressum
Okay.
is gnawing on the corn cob.
Okay.
Hello, my friend. Now, in his readings, he knows that the Tressum can understand language, but it can't speak back to him. You know what I mean? It doesn't have that ability.
Okay.
So he very gently again, and with all of the restraint that he can muster, he walks towards him and, you understand me? I just want.
It glances at you and gnaws a bit more. It acknowledges your.
Very much would like to interact with you. I would. My goal is to be able to summon a beast such as yourself, not you per se, but a familiar of mine. Would you mind if I interacted with you?
Kind of looks at you for a second and then looks down and focuses on its snack.
I move a bit closer.
Okay.
Again, not to be startling at all. I feel like maybe I'm within 5 feet of it,
Okay.
I'm going to pet you now. And I reach out my hand
Yeah.
to get close to where it is.
All right.
Does it retract or anything?
Give me a charisma check.
This shouldn't be too bad to do. See what that number is. It's 16. No, that is 17.
Okay. Nope, it was not recoil.
And I scratch it behind the ears, like you would any normal animal, you know, that is domesticated. And I say, "Thank you, my friend. You can see my little friend over there, can't you? No matter when it's phase it's in, both invisible or not, can't you?"
It eats.
You're a magnificent creature. And I, kind of rub it against the head a little bit more.
Beautiful plumage.
And I concentrate really hard as if I'm trying to cast familiar, but I kind of feel as if I'm doing that, I'm maybe taking the idea that I could do so. You know what I mean? And then I take my hand off of the the Tressum, and I go, if I'm correct, I should be able to make one of you. That will be a conversation of my own. Have you heard of that happening there before, Tressum? Whoa. Who is that coming from?
Me. Sorry.
That was fun and scary at the same time.
But almost fitting. And then I, having the interaction that Tristan feels as if he needs to have, touching the beast, so on and so forth. He kind of goes back over near where he was doing his research. He sits there at his desk, per se, and does the ritual in which he would summon, a familiar, concentrated on a Tressum.
Okay. Come at that in a minute.
Okay.
Anyone else?
This one's pretty satisfied with his research.
Nope. Okay. So, again, setting aside Corey's action, what's the plan?
I gotta kind of see what happens, but outside of that,
let me go ahead and deal with that then.
All right.
You kind of like you read in the stuff, you're going to have to figure out how to kind of customize it a little bit.
Okay.
That'll take a little time, but you think you can, given a little time, figure it out.
I feel the seed of it in my brain. I just need to figure out how to fully make it happen.
Exactly.
Is that what you're saying?
It will work, but
Okay.
just need some tweaking.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool. So having that knowledge and knowing that with maybe a little bit more meditation on it, figuring it out, that he'll be able to do that. He would go back over to the group, who seems like they're all kind of figuring out what to do next. And so, did it say where this dragon would be located? Like a location?
They'd say among the lot of you, Shinrim, or something about the Neverwinter Woods.
Right.
Well, is it Ken the Dragon or the Green that flew and attacked the keep yesterday.
I'm going to be very honest here, Mort. I think they're the same person, or entity, or dragon, or whatever you want to call them. I just think I think the green is a nickname, possibly, because nobody's probably ever talked to him before. Isn't that plausible?
Well, in some levels, but it's still kind of confusing where all these damn books went to.
That is very, very concerning.
And particularly
Very.
since we were referencing the dragon that lived much closer than Neverwinter. But so I'm at a bit of a loss.
Again, none of us have really dealt with a dragon before. What would be interesting to try to coax a dragon? I don't know.
Mostly they crave novelty and riches. If we could present it with a situation where it would have something great to gain, it would probably be interested in talking to us. But we'd also have to go all the way to Neverwinter.
No. Wouldn't be the first. Hey, maybe there's a solution. Maybe the library here, it's a library. It's an arcane library. They must have a transportation circle. There must be, and I know that there's some in Neverwinter.
Right, probably. I mean, I still don't know that we want to go talk to a dragon that was randomly attacking here. And
Don't say attack. It wasn't attacking. It was just seemed to be menacing, from what I've heard. Is that correct, librarian?
You all know that this place does actually have one method of magical travel.
Fast travel. Yeah. Because we came through it. But I don't think we want to change dimensions. We just want to change cities. We've had enough of going in between dimensions. I'm good with that. This one seems like to be the right place. I don't know about you guys.
You and Fear give me a knowledge arcane.
I can do arcane. I'm good at that.
I said you and Fear, yes.
Okay, so I'm part of that you. Yeah, 12 plus. I gotta get my number.
12 plus 5, 17.
13.
You're pretty sure that, with the proper runic combinations, you could travel to other places on the same dimension.
All right.
You have to know
What the rune is, which I guess we could use. Technically, we could use that to travel just about anywhere. Thinking
Sounds like
about
a plan.
So, yeah, if we want to go to Neverwinter, we can do that for a couple spells.
I think between the two of us, we'll be able to figure that out.
I guess.
This is kind of neat. We have our own little traveling system here.
How does one
Don't know that I'd go so far to call it our own. Somebody else made it, and somebody with quite a bit more magic ability than us. But
Yeah, but we're the ones that possess it now. And he winks at you. Wouldn't that kind of make it ours?
it's always dangerous to use something you don't fully understand.
You have a point.
poppycock.
Says the air.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I've got out of character. I've got no idea what to do. So I'm happy to go to Neverwinter if that's what we want to do.
it definitely looks like that's probably our best bet. So
Neverwinter.
This one would propose perhaps we speak with the king, the local, the yokel, the ruler librarian guy, and ask his opinion.
Okay.
Let's do that.
I'm happy to do that as well. Did he ever give us his name?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Don't ask me to remember what it was, but he certainly gave you one.
Certainly, certainly.
Last hour of the last episode.
Yeah, well, we can figure that out. But you
Yeah,
know
that's not
what-
the biggest thing.
All right, let's go see Dick Dancer, chief librarian.
And he's dead.
No.
he's covered in corn cobs and is being devoured by a flock of cat-like creatures.
Cat things.
Treacles? Is that the word? Treacle?
Tressum.
Tressum, Tressym.
Trestle. Got it.
Right. So
Tressum. Anyways.
he makes time to meet with you. I hope everything was. You found everything you needed.
Oh, it's
Kind of.
and then we had some things disappear on us. So,
What do you mean?
well, I did a fair amount of research on dragons, and ended up with this level of notes. And you can see it's all sourced properly, yada yada. But then talking to your librarians a few minutes ago, these books don't exist.
That's puzzling.
To say the least.
And at least two of our members have seen said books.
Strange. I'll have it looked into. Will you be sure? Will you give? Be sure to provide us a list of the tomes that are missing, and I will certainly not tolerate theft of our goods here. So I assure you, we'll look at it right away.
I will do that. And I'll actually copy that page right then and there.
Sir, have you ever... I know we know of the green that's in the Neverwinter Woods, but have you ever heard of another dragon that might be closer to here? That is also green.
His name's Ken.
I'm sorry?
His name's Ken.
Oh, no. No, that doesn't sound familiar at all.
All right, is the green the proper name of this dragon, or is it just a name that has been given by those that fear it?
Just what we call it.
So you don't know its proper name.
I don't. Well, you know, dragons don't tend to give out their proper name, but it lives, a ride from here, so very rarely do we interact with it. We know it existed, but
Yeah. Has it ever attacked this place?
oh no.
It just kind of makes its presence known.
Oh, this is the first time we've actually seen it approach us.
Interesting. When did it actually appear? When, in relation to when you know that we were here, did it appear?
It got here about the same time as you, as a matter of fact.
And Tristan kind of looks to his companions and notes that. I don't find that to be a coincidence.
I find very few things to be coincidences.
What do you think, fellas? It's a bit strange that this dragon that they call the Green, but we've found out to maybe be named Ken, that it showed up the same time that we showed up back on the plane.
This one starts spitting out in Draconic that, of course, the mighty dragon appeared when this one came.
we ignore him good-naturedly.
Well, you're the only one that understood him, so.
And I suppose the other thing, Mr. Librarian, sir, that might be useful, particularly while you're looking for these other books, is if you've got some interns or whatever the heck you use around here, to do a little more research on both the Shadowfell and the Netherese bargain for us. Mostly as in the form of an existential threat to the entirety of the planar multiverse.
Okay, let me make some things. Long story short here.
Sure.
How much of what you know have you shared with these guys? To my knowledge, very little.
I would be completely open about it.
Well, there's one thing to be completely open, another thing to be, info dumping. So I'm just not trying to criticize either way. I just want to make sure I understand.
I mean, I assume from my research experiences that talking to a librarian and doing multiple days of research in an institute, we would give them a fair amount of information.
They stayed out of your way.
Okay.
Oh, that's not to say that they would not interact with you if you chose to interact with them, but just in general, unless they very clearly are given the price for access to this place. They understand the sensitivity of the information and the time, so they're trained to stay out of the patron's way.
Okay.
So again, you can interact as much as you'd like, but they don't press you. They're not.
Well, and maybe then as a party, we should stop real quick and have the conversation. I don't see any reason to be secretive that we're trying to stop the end of the multiverse. Because again, anybody who might be able to help would probably be helpful.
Are you saying that to the party?
To the four of us, just a general, what are we doing here kind of conversation happening. Not necessarily in character at the moment.
Well, that's fine. Regardless, this one would agree with you wholeheartedly. He doesn't feel like he has any secrets. So he'd share everything open.
Well, again, there's a difference between being honest with someone and sitting down with someone and saying, here's everything I know, A, B, C, D.
No, and I mean, particularly being at the research center of the known world.
Right.
At some point during the last, 4 days that we've been here, probably would have info dumped.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure I understood. I didn't want to make.
No, absolutely. I'm happy to say, and I think Fear would also be happy to just straight up info dump on somebody who seems knowledgeable, again, not the drunk dude in the bar,
right,
but a librarian or the archivist for the place. Absolutely happy to go through and talk all of this, just in case they know about other books, blah, 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 blah.
Okay. All right. So now I've forgotten what led me to that question.
I was going to see if they had people to do research for us while we were gone. Basically, so facts could continue to turn up without us spending all of our days in a library.
Are you doing the primary interaction at this point?
Sure.
Give me a persuasion or
Something.
charisma or whatever the hell that is nowadays.
Seems like something I can do. That's a whopping 6 persuades.
You get the.
Don't overdo it.
I'll see what we can do.
Right, no, it's fine. It's just the end of the world. Not a big deal at all.
Right.
Sure, you got more pressing things.
I'm sure it is. Not like we don't have not like we don't have end of the world here every other week.
Sorry to know it is one of the problems, but I assume if we don't treat all of them like the end of the world, at some point the world will end.
Right. But we can't just pick one end of the world at a time. We have to deal with all the end of the world simultaneously.
Right. No, are there many other pressing at the moment?
Aren't there always, as I was saying?
I'm just one adventuring party. We deal really with just one at a time. And you, being Candlekeep, I assume you know about all the others, so it'd also be good to know if we're dealing with, a 20 end of the world kind of week or a one end of the world kind of week. Because if we're only dealing with one, we might commit some more resources.
It's well, first of all, in your info dump, you said that this particular end of the world is important, but not immediate, right?
But at the same time, sir, you told us that you gave us the information that you know of a prophecy that falls in line with what's going on with us.
Correct. Thus, we are
We didn't tell you that. You told us.
right. But you told us
So then
that
why wouldn't this one be very important?
it would be some time before the prophecy was fulfilled. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. We're not ignoring you. We're just, we have to prioritize.
No, absolutely.
That roll's very shitty, so don't try to overcome his shitty roll with.
I'm sorry, that's funny as hell. Well, sir, yes, I do understand that sometimes fate does put things in a monetized order, but not a problem. We will be in touch. We seem as if we can travel around in a method. Do you have anything else for us?
Other than we will investigate what's going on with these missing books. That's very concerning.
I agree, sir. It's your library. It's not ours.
Right. Very concerning indeed. And he looks genuinely worried.
That's all I have.
Yep. Good to go.
Have a good day. Mort, do you have anything for this man?
No. I mean, knows it's the end of the world as we know it. He feels fine.
Yeah, he's probably in some REM cycle.
Think he's asleep?
Maybe. It's REM.
Yeah, basically, just we've explained what information we've got, where we're at with this whole end of the world thing. Yeah, do you have any suggestions as to where we should go to find more information that will impress upon you the seriousness of this impending scenario? Given all the information that we.
Well, what is your current plan?
I think we're just going to dig around until it's a little bit more impending. We don't really have a clear... We're going to go talk to that dragon. See if its name's Ken. If it's not Ken, we're going to run like hell.
Probably there's one or two of them in the process.
I see. So, is that your solution to the end of the world? Go talk to a dragon and find out if his name is Ken? Is that going to solve the problem?
Well, we're hoping that he's more helpful than you've been so far.
Now, he may have more information.
Who's she? I mean, I'm not familiar with how dragons do gender, but...
Right. I think they're a bit of gender fluid.
Hang on a second. Roll me a charisma check, Mort.
Pretty good. Let's see. It's a 17 plus... nothing. So 17.
All right. So he looks as though he's getting ready to get up from the table and dismiss you, but he like takes a deep breath instead and
I just can't
kind of
quit.
settles back into his chair. What?
Nothing.
I mean, there are. I mean, I've tried to be as helpful as I can. I don't know what you want from me at this point. You could you go to Waterdeep, talk to some of the learned folk there.
Are there any experts on the Netherese still alive? Is there anyone who's studied it that we should go and talk to find out if they know anything more than what's in your books?
I suspect there are.
Any ideas on how to go about finding them?
I can find out who the best people would be and message you. I can do that. It might
Do
take
you
a
know?
couple days, but
Do you know of a person that would be able to that has a lot of knowledge on dragons, maybe in lineage and such?
I'm sure some of the folk, some of the wizards in Waterdeep would be are certainly learned in dragon genealogy. I mean, what specifically are you trying to learn? What is it you're trying to gather from this?
How to prevent the end of the world.
No,
Specifically,
Our
how
branch of the
how
end
is
of the
the
world.
genealogy of a dragon going to help you prevent the end of the world?
So the big question here is the books and the research that is missing from your library led me to believe that said dragon, Kin, possibly the green that flew by just the other day, might be interested in helping with the end of the world. And while the four of us might not be hugely powerful, we figure a dragon is a little more powerful than the four of us. So having that to help us might be a resource very useful when dealing with the end times. So really what we're doing right now is trying to find allies and other resources to bolster our own meager resources.
And I'm fully behind that. And that makes perfect sense. I'm just trying to figure out what the genealogy of a dragon that you may or may not exist and you may or may not know the name of.
Right. So
If you really think that is what you need, then I will do everything in my power to find out who would be the best resource for that. But
I think my friends here kind of lost and just are trying to confirm that the books that both myself and this one here have seen really exist, and we didn't suffer from some form of mass hallucination or some other strange thing that would lead us, when going to talk to said dragon, to our certain deaths. Because our certain deaths are also not really going to be served, really, except to expedite the end times.
okay. So he holds up a hand to pause you for just a second, and he pulls one of his guys over and whispers something to him. And that guy scurries out of the room. He says, "So help me understand exactly what happened with these books. So you came in, you read some books, did some research, took your notes, you came back another day,
And they were gone.
somebody fired bottle rockets."
Right. That was the midday Candlekeep fireworks show.
Now, what exactly did the librarian say when you asked for these books?
I believe he said he's never heard of those books or they don't exist. But exactly I don't have, as I was slightly flustered by that response.
Okay, that's an important distinction. So it's not, well, again, we don't know exactly what's happening, but it sounds like they're not stolen books, but they're books that our expert in that area claims never existed.
Right. But again, footnotes, pages of them. So, I'm not sure what I was reading. The books he said I was reading aren't those books. The notes don't correspond. Again, I've done academic research before. I know how to take notes. I usually don't totally make it up.
This one backs that one's assertions up. I read the same. It was unfindable.
Yes. That makes 0 sense. I don't doubt what you're saying, but hard time wrapping my mind around the solution or even the problem in this case.
Right, and that's really why we're here. So we may just go talk to the said dragon. Check back in a couple days.
Why Waterdeep?
I was thinking we'd go to Neverwinter and talk to the dragon there. It also might show up as soon as we do and buzz the building, and then we, I don't know, have at least repeatability of the phenomenon of the dragon following us.
This one is absolutely looking at the librarian guy. And he says again, why Waterdeep?
They ask where those experts would be, and that's the center of it's the major city, even more significant than Neverwinter of the area is Waterdeep, where all the resources tend to pool themselves. And out of character, Waterdeep would be the New York to Neverwinter's Chicago, maybe.
Right.
Or maybe Neverwinter more like Detroit, given its current condition. At its height.
Well, let's go become urban farmers in Neverwinter. Drop this into the world stuff.
I hear land's really cheap there.
I'm down. Let's...
Alamort's people are already urban farmers, so.
Well, kind of. But also kind of like soulless zombies.
Right, but.
Say that around your own race. Gosh.
What?
Don't be so judgmental.
It's not racist if I say it.
It's a rich culture.
Okie doke.
So I guess we're going to Waterdeep.
Wait, are we going to Neverwinter or Waterdeep? Because I'm
Waterdeep.
Okay.
Where are you going?
See the big city. Da 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 da.
I just don't know what we're going to do in Waterdeep besides more research, which I think we've done a fair amount of.
We can meet with secret societies that know of ancient cabals that send us on deep missions in which we fight demons.
You can try and find a MacGuffin.
Ooh, MacGuffins are great.
I need MacGuffins. I need so many MacGuffins.
That shit ain't happening.
Maybe we should spend some time doing some research on where to find the MacGuffin that's totally useful against the Shadowfell.
Sounds
That might
like
be all right.
to me.
I think Mort has one of those already, doesn't he?
It's got
Sure.
a bow or something that takes purple juice. That's not a MacGuffin.
I'd rather have some purple drink.
Although I guess we could try to find the purple drank machine, and we could all have MacGuffin.
There we go. It's getting better and better.
So Waterdeep or Neverwinter? If we're going to Waterdeep, what are we doing? Neverwinter is talking to a dragon. Or dying. Maybe both.
Or
Possibly.
dying to a dragon, yeah.
Probably the one will closely follow the other.
Right. But maybe not.
But probably.
Well, is Waterdeep on the way towards Neverwinter?
Not if we teleport.
Oh, yes. It doesn't matter if we teleport.
Right, we can go to either through the teleportation chamber. It's just a question of
How many?
when do we want to go to.
Is there any knowledge on how often we can do that?
Also, this one would like to know if once we teleport there, will we be able to teleport back here? Because then we could do one and then the other.
So
Right, which
from-
would be the reason of the frequency there, this one.
observations of the thingamajig and how we did it, the frequency seems to be spell slots. So worst case, we drain ourselves and have to take a long rest, which we'll probably want to do anyway, judging from the fact that we'll drain our spell slots. We should be able to go through any of them to anywhere, at least according to how we did it the first time. This will be our second time doing it, so there's always a question that it's totally going to change this round. But we won't know until we try. Neverwinter is the farther city physically from Candlekeep. And that's all the random info dump that Fear has for making decisions.
I think you're right on point, Fear. I'm kind of with him. There's what is knowing more of the genealogy going to change if they, because we don't know what it is, male or female, they melt us. We might as well just go and try to talk to this thing. Unless we have more information we're trying to gather from we're in Candlekeep. From whatever that place is called, starts with an M. I don't know all these cities here on this plane. I don't know. I just feel like we're wasting time.
Not y'all.
This tends to be what we do, actually. Fortunately. But anyways, I think we should just be decisive and make a decision, and then go there. So if it just takes a spell slot, that means we can go everywhere, wherever you want. I have 2 uses a day of spells, and I know you being a wizard, you have many more than that. So it seems as if we could go many places.
Right.
So, if we would like to look through the book and figure out what the ruins are, I am in favor of going directly to the dragon.
I vote.
I would also like to do some more research on figuring out how to make this testament happen for me. But that's a me thing.
I just need some me time.
I do.
So Fears for Neverwinter. Out of the options currently being discussed.
So it sounds like 2 for Neverwinter. Where you want to go there this one?
I've not been to many large cities.
Well, we're not really going to the city. We may teleport there, but then we're going to be leaving rather quickly. Looking for Ken, or whatever his name is.
No. When we arrive.
The Green, whatever they...
When arrive, we will need to rest.
Rightio. And we can also just ask some quick questions there. Check in on a few things.
Yeah, and we could check in on... Hey, Mort, you said that your contact is there. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, Jay Cracker.
You could go check in on him. I don't see any reason why Neverwinter is not a good place to go.
Yeah, I'll probably have to tell him that Huckabus died. And Mara.
Yeah, that's very
and,
unfortunate.
Everyone.
yeah, the whole city pretty much.
You probably know that most of the city is dead if he lives there.
You can also visit your friends, Mort.
Kind of catch myself. A bit of a homebody
That's
when I wasn't breaking into homes.
So then I would say that between the 2 arcane casters, we figure out what the correct runes are, and we make our way to Neverwinter.
Okay, so give me in 3 sentences what the plan is from the time you go in the portal to the time you do the dragon thing.
I think we just kind of said it. But
Three,
anyways,
I want 3 sentences. We're gonna open the portal.
We open the portal, go to Neverwinter.
right. Once we get to
Like you
Neverwinter,
count.
Parentheses.
right.
Changes
Right.
if
One-
dragon shows up when we show up.
Okay. Yeah,
That
that's
the
a good
dragon
one.
doesn't show up when we show up. We
Right.
then do a quick round of questions just to get the where it lives in the woods and if anyone there knows anything more specifically about it. I'll
Check in with
Okay.
then go to it.
But the primary goal is to go to Neverwinter, gather a quick little bit of information, and then deal with the dragon.
yes.
And by deal with, we mean more like make its acquaintance.
Maybe invite
Yeah,
it.
not be aggressive in any way, shape, or form.
Not destroy the dragon, but deal with it.
Right.
No.
All right, so Tristan and Fear are activating the portal. Okay, first thing you need to know is I'll make this shorter than it otherwise might have been. They really are not particularly comfortable with you wandering down into the bowels of Candlekeep and activating portals that weren't supposed to be there.
Right.
FYI, but long story short, they'll let you do it. They
Winning personality.
really don't look like they'd be particularly happy if you came back that way. But since you showed it to them, they'll allow it. So I want Tristan and Fear to make me the worst of a wisdom or constitution roll.
Lowest modifier.
One die adding the worst of those 2 modifiers.
All right.
Okay.
So
To be con for me. That is a flat 17, and there's no modifier for me.
16 for fear.
Okay. The portal lights up. I assume you already looked at the map to determine
Yep.
how to
Yes.
get going. Press the runes in the proper order. And you step through. And you're, I'm going to assume that Thorn is with you at this point.
Okay.
Yep.
You're suddenly hit with a big old cup full of deja vu. Everybody roll me a Constitution save.
20.
17 again. 17 again.
15 for Mort.
This one?
This one is muted.
13.
Okay. I think I heard Fear. Fear.
Yes, sir.
Awaken in a pitch black room with the cool floor against your cheek.
Okay. I will wake up. I will have Badger Familiar sniff around and find me Thorn. And then I will wake Thorn up and have him cast Fairy Fire.
Okay. You do all those things successfully.
And then we'll get everybody else up and explore the place.
All right. So you'll get everyone else up. You'll see that you are in a long abandoned temple. And you will realize that it is 9:50. And exploring is for another day.
Okay. The abandoned nine.
Okay. Hey, just one quick question, Ken. Is it unnaturally dark there, or can we see?
You can see now that Fairy Fire's there. I mean, it was
Okay. Yep. Okay. Cool.
it was like dark of a sealed area before.
Right, but not dark like it was in the first time where it was unnaturally dark.
You can actually dark vision this works here.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Cool. I think that's it, right, buddy?
Yep. Any questions? Anything I missed? Anything I forgot?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, as always, feel free to ask in the interim. Otherwise, we will pick up from here. 2 weeks.
Yeah, as fun as usual, guys.
All right.
Good.
Thanks, folks. Talk to you
All right,
soon.
Hey, thanks for anybody that never watches.
What?
I don't know. I was just saying thank you to the people that don't watch our stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Screw
fun.
y'all.
Right. And you might want to turn it off.